Hey guys, I think I finally figured it out. I finally got it. I got the solution. Stick with me. Let's get into it. All right, guys, here we go again. This is Emmett Stallworth, the Alpha Builder. Guys, I've been trying to figure this thing out for the longest. How do and guys, I really realized that custom builders got a problem. We really have a problem. We're sinking, and it's almost like we can't bounce back. Could have had my glasses on today because I got to be able to see the screen. But I figured it out, and I actually talked to some production builders, some really big builders, and I was I found out that I was on track. This is the way to do it. They, in essence, they're what I'm fixing to explain to you today. This is what they do, but they do it in a different way, but conceptually, it's the same thing. Okay, the problem is custom builders are having problems. They're having problems because the work, just to get a little profit, the work is just overwhelming, especially when you're engaging with homeowners and stuff like that. It takes a longer time. And there's so many moving pieces to the construction of a residential site. It's just really, really hard to make profit, or really to get your profit margins where you need to be at. And so it's almost making it impossible. And I did a couple of videos before, and it almost makes it impossible to do custom jobs. And just, and so me and actually a couple of builders, we've been talking, and I've even talked to some builders over in the Atlanta area, a few of them. And we were all on the same, we were thinking the same way. And these guys just won't even take any more custom jobs because it takes too long. The homeowner interaction with the builder. Sometimes builders have these, they have a certain mindset, and it's really, it's just hard to have those guys in front of homeowners all the time because they so focused on other things and trying to get things done, and you're dealing with the decorating items and stuff like that. Builders don't like to do that, especially guys that want to go in here and just get things done. So a lot of the builders are getting to the point to where they don't really want to do custom jobs. They'd rather go out here and do spec jobs. They'd rather build the houses, which is what I actually started out doing it that way. But they'd rather build a house and sit it on the market and wait on somebody to come buy it. Okay, on both sides of the equation, whether you do a custom job or you do a spec job, there's headaches on both sides. So if you did a spec job, mind you, you went and got a loan from the bank, you built it, you put a real estate agent on it. Hopefully that real estate agent get it sold before your profit, so that you can make a profit. You need to sell it and turn it around really quick so that you can get a profit on it. Now, the money that you get from the bank, you're gonna have to pay interest on what you borrow. So you're gonna get draws throughout the process of the construction phase. And then once you get it done, you should be at the maximum amount that you pull from the bank. And then, but you still got to pay interest on that. And the more interest you pay, the more your profit margins go down. Because you can only, the market only can sustain that structure, that house is going to be at a certain price margin. So you can't be way over the market value because, the appraisal's not going to come in right. So that's a problem on that side. On the custom side, the homeowner is the one that's responsible for the construction loan. So, and the builder gets to draw from the homeowner. But the homeowner is responsible. They have to pay that interest every month based on what that builder pulls to do that particular job. Now, the builder does not have to worry about selling the house because it's already sold. We already got a buyer for it. But on the other side, you have to deal with change orders. You got to deal with the homeowners, and you got to make sure the relationship never fails between the homeowner and the builder. And here's another thing: if the job takes too long, that means the homeowner is paying more interest. So that's going to create, that can create tension between the builder and the homeowner as well. See, the longer you're out there, it creates the problem. Now, builders, the longer that you're out there, if you're dealing with a custom job, you can never get anything right. You got change orders and stuff like that. Well, it's costing the builder too, because now the builder is spending more time. Time is an asset that you can't get back, and it's the most important asset that builders have, or just anybody have. And you're losing time when you can be managing another site. You can finish that job and go to another site. So it's not to anybody's advantage to be sitting here just waiting and not getting the job done. So homeowners know that builders are really trying to get that job done. A good quality builder, he's trying to get that thing done, get out of there so he can go to another site. So there are pros and cons on both sides. Okay. But now I have a lot of builders that are saying that they don't want to do custom jobs. They don't want to do custom jobs because they don't want to deal with those change orders. They don't want to deal with the homeowners. It's really, really tough. Then you're trying to make them, I think a lot of builders are trying to make them happy and please them and things like that. And I get it, guys. But it's really a really tough job. There are so many moving pieces in construction, especially today, and dealing with subcontractors, guys. It just makes it really, really hard. But let's look at, let's kind of, I got right here, guys. Let's look at what's involved. So if you got a construction company, now let me just say this right here. Most builders don't like, they like to be out there and making sure the subs show up, engaging with the subs to make sure things are done, which is kind of sort of what you call a superintendent. So builder / superintendent, but most of the builders, if you're a custom builder, you kind of operate as your superintendent as well. So you're out there on site, you're making sure stuff get delivered and things like that. But you got to do all those things and dealing with these guys. I mean, I'm telling you guys, just dealing with subcontractors alone, it's a tough process. Just dealing with those guys alone, making sure they do it the way the plan said do it, or do it the way you want it done. That's challenging, guys. So the builders having to deal with all of that stuff on what we call the production side, and then you got to do the stuff on the administrative side. But let's look at but most builders, when you talk to most builders, custom builders, they would rather deal with the stuff on the production side. They don't really want to deal with the stuff on the administrative side. But here's the problem. Now, I got a solution, guys. But the only way I can give you the solution is I got to show you what the problems are. So most builders don't like to deal with this side right here. But let's look at what's on the production side. So if you look at the production side, guys, you got to get with the subcontractors. You got to schedule things, make sure things get scheduled on time, make sure they show up, make sure they get stuff done. You just got to make sure from the beginning to the end that project gets done. Okay? Make sure I'm recording this right. So that's on. So you gotta get, and then you gotta make sure on the quality assurance. Number one, you gotta make sure that the subcontractors are doing what they're supposed to do. And then you're gonna look at the plans. You guys should have a building quality standards, and they have one by the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders, and they produce. You can go online and pull it up, but you got to make sure that things meet specs or specifications. So that's so you got to make sure that happens. You got to deal with the municipal inspectors, and guys, some of these guys don't have a clue. In a smaller municipality, some of these guys don't have a clue. In a larger municipality, you're gonna have a lot of savvy inspectors, guys, but you got to make sure y'all on the same page on that code book. And if guys, most cases, when you look at that code book, it don't just have you as the builder just going out here just looking at what your subs do. Guys, you guys got to be in this code book. This is a thick book, looks like the telephone pages back in the day when I was coming up. But guys, there's a lot of code that's going on in here. You got to know how to go through this book and make sure that everything is code compliant when you're dealing with those inspectors. And you just can't take their word just because they say something. It's the code book, especially when that municipality adopt that code. So you got to make sure this stuff is done right. It's got these two: scheduling, that quality assurance, inspections. Then you got to engage with the homeowners. You got to engage with the homeowners. And guys, you really should be reaching out to those homeowners at least once a week. You should be talking to them once a week. You should meet them on site no less than once every 2 weeks, just to make sure you walk through things, make sure you guys are on the same page. This is time. If there's any questions, there's going to be a lot of questions. A lot of these homeowners, they go on Pinterest and they go on all these different things, and they go on the internet and they become builders overnight. And they can tell you, and here's the thing, guys, it's a good thing because they know enough about, they can go on the internet and they know enough about construction to know whether or not you just pulling their leg on something or you just talking stuff. So this is what, so this is just the production side, guys. And this is a lot of work. If you're building one house, I mean, just imagine if you got 2 or 3 houses going on at one time. This is a lot of work. Engaging with those homeowners, dealing with the inspectors, making sure the subcontractors do it right, scheduling, making sure guys show up. If they don't show up, you got to get somebody else in. Guys, this is a lot of work. Now, most custom builders, not only do they do this, but they do this right here too. So these guys got to go in here, they got to estimate the job. They got to budget the job. While the job is going on, you got to budget it. Make sure that you're not going over your budgets and stuff and keeping up with everything. Then also you may be dealing with change orders and stuff like that. I mean, now you got to get invoices out to those guys. You got to deal with your risk management. That's your legal stuff, because if you do something wrong, you're going to get sued. Or if you don't have, you got to have the correct insurance. You got to have your general liability insurance, your workman's comp. In some municipalities, they require you to be bonded. You got to have all that stuff together, man. So then you got your warranty stuff, man. And also it digs into the quality assurance part as well. Then you got, I forgot to say, you got to make sure your contracts and stuff are all in place. That's on your legal side. You got to also make sure that, I forgot to put an S here, but you make sure, then you got your accounts payable and receivable. This alone, just sitting down writing checks and invoicing. If you got a change order, you got to invoice them before you can do the work. And if you don't get the money, you can't do it. Or sometimes it takes a little longer to get the money to do the change order, and you delay the project, which push you back over here. So, and then you got, like I said, just the payment, just sitting down paying people and making sure, there's another thing, making sure that the guys that you pay, and a lot of contractors like to do purchase orders, that kind of locks them down. But if you're a custom builder, you're not really doing purchase orders like that. So you got to sit down and make sure that these guys are charging you right. Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, these guys will invoice you. I've had subcontractors to invoice me twice. And I think if I'd paid them, if I didn't catch it and I'd paid them twice, they would have just took the money. And if I called it, oh, we made a mistake. So guys, you got to have somebody on top of this right here. Accounts payable and accounts receivable. So you got to make sure you get your money from, if you got to invoice the homeowner out, if you got to get a draw and you invoice them, you got to make sure you get your money. You got to make sure that money gets into the bank. You got to make sure that you can write checks off of it. And then you got to make sure, you got to sit down and write checks off of these things right here. So guys, when you compile these items right here, this is why it makes it very difficult for builders. So let me show you what's going on now. So let's kind of go over here. Let me see if I can ease this right here over. Nah, I'm easing over here. Yeah, this right here is a little bit better. So we kind of got an idea of this right here, guys. So now let me say this right here. Most builders would rather do this side. They hate doing that side. This is the side you're dealing with the numbers, because if you don't estimate right, you're not going to make any profit. Guys, you're just not going to make any profit. If you don't make any profit, you're done. Your business model is shattered. So here's what I propose. Here is the solution, guys. So you got a lot of builders, they don't like to do one or two parts. Just make sure I got this here. So here's what I propose. See if I got the right color right here. All right. Let's say, and I'm gonna start out with a $500,000 house. That's kind of, I think that's a national average, guys. We're gonna say a home, 500,000. I gotta get my little calculator here. I think everybody can see that right there. So let's say, and I don't, let's say that here's what builders are doing now, guys. So builders are getting to the point to where they are so irritated with dealing with custom jobs. What they're gonna do is they're gonna mark this thing up almost 25%. They're gonna try to get about 20 to 25% profit margin. So let's just say 25%. So I want to get profit of 25%. Okay, which means that you're gonna multiply 0.25 times 500,000, right? So if I have a house, and I'm not saying the house is $500,000, I'm saying that it cost me $500,000 to build this structure. Build this structure. That's my battery, by the way, guys. It's more batteries doing this thing over there. So I got 500,000 times 0.25. That means that's going to be that's going to give me $125,000 profit, right? Now, I talked about this right here earlier, guys. One time I said, hey, why not just get with the homeowner? I got this thing in the way. Why don't you just get with the homeowner and you just be transparent on everything? Show them what you make. Nothing wrong with that. Show them what the house is going to cost. Show them what your profit is going to be. If you get a 25% profit margin of a $500,000, $500,000 improvement, which means that the house itself is going to be $625,000, right? Cost of house. Cost of house. It's going to be that. So what that means is you showing this homeowner that you're about to make $125,000 off of them. I'm just going to be honest with you, man, especially here where I am. I think even if they had the money, they wouldn't want to give you 125. I know me. I'm just going, hey guys, it sounds strange, especially dealing with my people, guys. If I went to my people and I let them know I was going to make $125,000 off of them, sometimes, I just don't, I'm just be honest with you guys from my experience, people will have a problem with that. It's kind of hard to show them that number, man. I mean, you can do it like that, but the chances you're going to take is that they whether they can do it or not, they're just going to say, no, I just can't give you that, man. I can't give you that. But let's just say you did that. And you are the builder that really just focuses on this side right here. So you could have got the estimating, you could have got this stuff right here messed up, the budgeting and all that kind of stuff messed up, right? Because you're not putting 100% effort on this right here. This right here is going to slack a little bit because you're really focused on this right here part right here. Everybody can get out there and build that thing, but you really focus on that right there. So let's just say worst case scenario. So you got $125,000. Let's say the worst case scenario, you didn't calculate the foundation right. And guys, this is a guaranteed cost. And you was down about, let's say the worst case scenario, you screwed up. And this is the reason that the builders want this 25% profit margins, is because if I screw up to the point that I'm screwing up about $50,000, let's just say I mess up $50,000 worth of work, I still stick $75,000 in my pocket. So here's the thing, guys, that's probably well worth it. You still, and then it's probably going to take you about a year to do it on a $500,000 house. You're engaging with the homeowners. There's going to be a lot of change orders and things like that. So it's probably going to take you about a year. So you're probably going to that's going to be about a year, 1 year, or let's just say 12 months in some cases. Especially if you're on a basement, guys. So especially if you started out in March or something like that, where it's raining all the time, you can't get the footings and stuff in because, the rain won't let you pour the concrete. But look at what you're dealing with. So you're still making a decent profit. You marked it up and above, chances are people they're just not gonna deal with that. That's just too much profit margin. Plus you're not being able to be competitive, right? That becomes another issue. Now let's get to the solution. So now what you guys see what the problem is right here, right? So what if we did this right here? You guys let me know. Hopefully you guys will share and comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Let's say I did an 18% profit margin. We're gonna jump it down a little bit. 18%. Sorry. So instead of 25%, we're gonna do 18%, which is fair. I think a lot of builders try to get about 16%, between 16 and 18%. I think that's fair on a custom job. So let's do that. Let me just see where we're at here. So if I took that same 500,000 improvements times 0.18, that's going to be $90,000 profit, right? Then I come here, so I'm going to add that together. So that means that this house, total improvements is $590,000. $590,000, which is, this is what the house is going to cost you right here. Okay, so that's going to be so let me see, 625 minus 590. That's going to be at least $35,000 less, right? So that's starting out okay. Pull the house under it pulled the house under 500, under 600, so you're in the fives. Saving the homeowner $35,000, which is a good deal. Now, what if I put this back out here again, guys? So what if I can do it right like this right here? Probably gonna use a different color here. What if so a builder come to me, say I got my company going on, and I let that builder do all of this right here. That builder is gonna do all of this right here. Me, as Alpha Construction Services, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do all of this right here for that builder. So I'm gonna take care of the administrative side for that builder. So that builder don't have to worry about any of this stuff right here. I estimate the project to make sure that we get the maximum. I study the market. I would do the budgeting. I would handle the insurance. Everything would be done under my insurance, under my umbrella. Warranty, we would handle that, as well as we would do the accounts payable. So the person wouldn't have to do any checks, anything. All that builder has to do is these items right here. You meet with the homeowner, you schedule the subcontractors, you make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, quality assurance on the job site, and that's all you focus on. Guys, if that's all you focus on, and you don't have to do any of this stuff over here, you can possibly chop down the time that it takes you to do this house at least by 40%. At least by 40%. Because your job is to stay on these guys every day and get this thing done as fast as you can. So now this 1 year job has turned into about 6 months, 6 to 8 months. You see? But you're doing this under my umbrella, under the umbrella of another building company. Does that make sense? Now, there's a catch to it. So now we're going to split this profit. So we're going to take that profit margin, we're going to split it, and let's just do a 60-40. 60-40 split on that $90,000. Okay? So a 60-40 split, which means, let me just see what we got here. So we got 90, 1, 2, 3 times 60. That means, 90 times 0.6. So that means 54,000 for this person, right? And then the 40 times 0.4. That's $36,000 to the company. So this right here goes to this company, and I should have did this right here in red. And this right here goes to that builder. And he doesn't have to worry about any of this stuff over here. So this company gets $36,000 to handle all this stuff right here. This company gets $54,000. Now originally they was gonna make 125,000, and you know, if there were some problems, you know, they kind of pump it up real high because there may be some problems, and typically problems are gonna happen right here. When you're doing construction, this is where you're gonna get your problem. Most builders just can't estimate right. They don't have the software. They just kind of do it by square footage and stuff like that. And this creates the problem. This will run your profit margins. Guys, most builders, because they do what they call assembly method, the assembly, it's called an assembly estimating. And they just look at the structure and they say, oh, it's going to be about this much per square foot. That's what most builders do. That gets you about 15% plus or minus. 15% plus or minus where you really need to be. You can blow that up real good. And then just staying on top of these guys, making sure that you meet budget, and making sure if you don't meet budget, we got to do something else. Staying on top of the framing guys and the foundation guys and all these guys. And then making sure you got liability insurance and things like that. So when things go wrong and you get sued, you see what I'm saying? You're still, if you get sued, you don't come out of your pocket. So that builder, that liability alone, that builder's not paying that liability. We're paying it because it's under my umbrella. Okay? So let's just say this is the case right here, guys. Guys, you can still make that $125,000 because you could probably manage 2 or 3 jobs now because this is all you're doing. You're not dealing with this right here. So you can do 2 jobs in one. This guy can come here, you add another 50, you get another house like this right here, 54,000. I mean, man, you know, this is good. You back up here now, and you got less stress. I think that's the solution, guys. The solution for you custom builders is for somebody to have an umbrella. Now, I think I'm going to start that with mine. Well, I kind of already started it. So you have an umbrella company, a big company who carries the general liability insurance, does the estimating, does the budgeting, actually creates the contract for the homeowner. You and that builder get together, make sure y'all on the same page on profit margins. This person right here can study the market to make sure that you're in the right place so the appraisals won't be all messed up when you get down to the end. Make all the payments and stuff. Keep this guy, and this guy right here can stay in the field. The production side, you can stay in the field. You can enforce quality assurance, make sure things are done right. We can implement procedures and policies to fine tune this whole process right here. You can't go wrong, guys. This is the way we need to be doing it. Instead of everybody's out here trying to float around, you got 1 or 2 builders, they out here by themselves, and they're out here trying to do it all. And not only that, guys, if a person is not a builder, you can go consult somebody who understands business, but if you're not a builder, you don't understand all of this right here that's involved. How are you going to estimate if you hadn't built anything? It's very difficult to estimate if you hadn't been in the field, you don't understand the process of construction. If you hadn't been in the code book, intimately in that code book, to understand construction and the whole process of construction. How are you going to call out some of these subcontractors when they send you a bill and the bill is too high? You as a builder, hold up, man, something don't sound quite right with that. You know, these are the things. We got to quit, well, guys, I think this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. And hopefully this right here helps somebody. You guys have a good one. Well, let me, let me put my little extra in this thing right here. Where's it at? There we go. You guys have a good one.